Welcome to the Highlights channel. The videos is on the international news of the 19th of June 2023. Russia repels drone attack on oil pipeline station. Russian air defense units repelled a Ukrainian drone attack overnight on a pumping station on the Druzhba oil pipeline in the Bryansk region adjoining Ukraine, the region's governor said on Saturday. 3 Ukrainian military drones were destroyed in the attack in the Novozybov district, Alexander Bogomaz wrote on Telegram. Drone attacks inside Russia have been increasing in recent weeks, frequently targeting energy facilities. The southern branch of the Soviet-era Druzhba pipeline crosses Ukraine and, despite the conflict there, continues to supply crude oil to Hungary, Slovakia and the Czech Republic. War must end, South Africa's leader Ramaphosa tells Putin. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is in Russia as part of a peace-seeking delegation, on Saturday told his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin that the conflict in Ukraine had to stop, this war must be settled through negotiations and through diplomatic means, Mr. Ramaphosa said. He added that his delegation, consisting of 7 African leaders, would like this war to be ended. This war is having a negative impact on the African continent and indeed on many other countries around the world, Mr. Ramaphosa said ahead of formal talks with the Russian president. Meanwhile, Mr. Putin on Saturday interrupted opening remarks by African leaders seeking to mediate in the Ukraine conflict to deliver a list of reasons why he believed many of their proposals were misguided. Mr. Putin first welcomed leaders from Senegal, Egypt, Zambia, Uganda, Congo Republic, Comoros and South Africa to the 18th-century Konstantinovsky Palace on the southern shore of the Gulf of Finland, stressing Russia's commitment to the continent. But after presentations from the Comoran, Senegalese and South African leaders, he stepped in to challenge the assumptions of the plan before the round of comments from all the representatives could go any further. Mr. Putin reiterated his position that Ukraine and the West had started the conflict long before Russia sent its armed forces over the border in February last year. He said the West, not Russia, was responsible for a sharp rise in global food prices early last year. Amid limited chances for a breakthrough, Blinken set for China visit to mend ties. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has embarked on a high-stakes diplomatic trip to China to try to cool down escalating tensions between the two powers that have set many around the world on edge. Mr. Blinken will be the highest-level American official to visit China since President Joe Biden took office and the first Secretary of State to make the trip in 5 years. Little prospects yet prospects for any significant breakthrough on the most vexing issues facing the planet's 2 largest economies are slim, as ties have grown increasingly fraught in recent years. Mr. Blinken arrives in Beijing on Sunday for 2 days of talks. He expects to meet with Foreign Minister Qin Gang on Sunday, top diplomat Wang Yi, and possibly Chinese President Xi Jinping on Monday, according to U.S. officials. The list of disagreements and potential conflict points is long, ranging from trade with Taiwan, human rights conditions in China to Hong Kong, as well as the Chinese military assertiveness in the South China Sea to Russia's war in Ukraine. U.S. officials said before Mr. Blinken's departure from Washington on Friday that he would raise each of them. Saudi minister arrives in Tehran amid thaw in ties. Saudi Arabia's Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan arrived in Iran on Saturday amid a rapprochement between the two Middle East archfoes. Iran officially reopened its embassy in Saudi Arabia on June 7. The kingdom broke ties with Iran in 2016 after protesters attacked the Saudi embassy in Tehran in retaliation for Riyadh's execution of a prominent Shiite cleric. Mr. bin Farhan is due to meet with Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and his Iranian counterpart Hossein Amir-Abdollahian. Saudi Arabia's rapprochement with Iran has left Israel largely alone as it has sought to isolate Iran diplomatically. Air strikes hit Sudanese capital, killing 17 persons including 5 children. Air strikes killed civilians and pummeled multiple parts of the Sudanese capital on Saturday, as mediators pushed the warring factions towards a new ceasefire. Fighting between the Sudanese army and paramilitary rapid support forces is entering its 3rd month with neither side gaining a clear advantage. The war has displaced 2.2 million Sudanese and killed hundreds, and has sent the war-weary Darfur region into a humanitarian calamity, the United Nations has said. The army has air power advantage in Khartoum and its neighboring cities Omdurman and Bahri, while the RSF has embedded itself in residential neighborhoods. The army appeared to ramp up airstrikes on Friday and Saturday, hitting several residential neighborhoods. In a speech posted by the army on Friday, Top General Yasir al-Atta warned people to stay away from homes the RSF had occupied. Because at this point, we will attack them anywhere, he said to Cheers. Between us and these rebels are bullets, he said, appearing to dismiss mediation attempts. The Khartoum Health Ministry said that 17 persons including 5 children were killed in the Mayo area of southern Khartoum. String of attacks. The strike was the latest in a series of air and artillery attacks on the poor and densely populated district of the city where most residents are unable to afford the cost of living. Late on Friday, the local resistance committee said 13 persons had been killed by shelling in Al-Lamab in western Khartoum, calling the neighborhood an operations zone. The RSF on Saturday said it brought down an army warplane in the Nile, west of Khartoum. Thank you. Do subscribe to the Highlights channel.